702. 702. Finance Feature.
9 minutes to 2 o'clock, and this finance feature is brought to you by Stanlib Asset Management. Invest in more. As we talk about the real cost of drinking and driving, we're joined by Christelle Colman, CEO of Ami Underwriting Managers. Get in touch, 011 883 0702, in the WhatsApp line 072 702 1702. Christelle, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, it's great to be back. Thanks for having me. I just listened to your previous
Yes,
I must just say, and our topic is right on trend because I have a family member that was driving under the influence of alcohol, and that has caused huge problems for the repercussions of that. So yes.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think it's things that people don't necessarily speak about openly because it comes with a lot of shame. But yeah, that is the reality. So then let's talk about the real cost of drinking and driving.
So, you always just think about, I'll lose my license. Maybe I won't be able to renew my license or whatever. But the circles of how this affects people's lives are just, it's really, really, and everything just gets worse and worse and worse. So the first thing is, if you drink and drive and you're arrested at the scene of the accident under the influence, you will be taken to the police station. You will either get left off with a warning or you will get a criminal record, depending on the circumstances. So whether this person caused damage to another car or property, or whether someone was injured or killed in that accident. So the levels of, how serious this is will determine the outcome. Secondly, if you were arrested with alcohol or drugs in your blood, your insurance policy will not pay out. It won't pay out your damages, and it will not pay out the damages of the person that you drove into or the number of people that you drove into. So you will have to pay for your own car to be repaired or replaced, and for the damages to the third parties. And then finally, you could end up with a criminal record, depending on the seriousness of the accident, and you can end up losing your job. So people think it's just about getting into the car, having a lacquer drink on their way to the coast or whatever, but the repercussions of that decision can be so far-reaching, and I just thought it's important that we talk about that.
Let's go line by line. I think the first thing that you mentioned is how the mentality will kind of be like, well, it's not that big of a deal, right? A person will think, I might just get a slap on the wrist or whatever the case may be. Do you think that there is a mentality that if you have insurance, you can get away with a bit more?
Oh, without a doubt. I'm dealing with a claim right now with a client who was arrested at the scene of the accident, caused damage to his own car and a third party, was under the influence, and we're waiting 6 to 8 months in a good year for the blood test results to come out. So they took his blood. That client is phoning non-stop for us to pay that claim out because he thinks he's been paying his insurance premium for so many years, and we should pay the claim. That is not how it works. If you are under the influence, it's against the law, and insurance policies can't respond to anything that is against the law. So driving under the influence is something that you will never get a claim paid out, especially if blood was drawn and it's shown with lab tests that you were over the legal limit.
So,
and it's quick to get over that limit, huh? Quick.
Yes, because isn't it, and I stand to be corrected, it's 2 glasses of wine.
No, but can we just talk about these glasses of wine? 175 milliliters of wine is what a glass of wine is. Most of us drink more than that in one glass. So it is, and it's also how much you weigh and over what period of time you've consumed this alcohol that will affect your blood counts, the alcohol counts in your blood. So don't think you can just have a glass of wine. You just had one glass of wine. You could be over the limit, and what could happen is you just had one glass of wine. You drive home and a child jumps in front of your car on a bicycle or whatever, and you hit that child, you'll go to jail because you would be, if you're over the limit. And we see this in insurance happen all the time, these drunk driving incidents. And getting your claim rejected is the least of your problems. It's the legal ramifications and the impact on your life going forward that you should be concerned about.
Okay, now to get to the parts, and I'm glad you touched on the glasses that a person needs to take into consideration so many things. Why is there such a backlog with waiting for bloods when it comes to cases like this? Because in the context, of course, of insurance, you need that proof to now officially reject a claim, I would assume.
I don't know. I wish I could give you that answer.
I love the honesty.
This question. We are insurers, so we are at the receiving end of, the backlog of, the blood tests. And we can't, so how the process works is, we suspect that the policyholder was under the influence of alcohol. There's blood drawn, it goes away, and then for the 6 to 8 months, we can't accept or reject the claim until we know what the blood outcome is. So during that time, the car has to be stored at a storage yard. We incur daily storage fees. We've got clients jumping up and down, very anxious because they can't move forward because everyone's waiting for the blood results. So it's really frustrating, and I feel very sorry for clients, who are caught in the crossfires and they actually haven't, been drinking, because they also have to wait. It's really, really difficult, but we have to deal with this. This is day-to-day working in South Africa. But people normally know, the policyholders normally know how much they've had to drink and how long they've been drinking, whether it was from lunchtime and then this thing happened at 11:30 at night. The chances are that they're over the limit and that the policy will not be able to respond.
Okay, so in terms of the cost of drinking, we actually have a voice note coming through on 072 702 1702.
Good afternoon. I'm just listening to this issue with regards to driving under the influence, and I just want to add another point. If you've got life insurance and you pass away due to driving under the influence, then the life insurance also becomes invalid and you will get paid nothing. We had it, one of our employees was drunk when he had an accident in Zimbabwe, and the company life policy refused to pay anything to him, and his young family got nothing from the insurance company. So it's very serious. If you are driving drunk, there are massive consequences to the situation. Thank you. Bye.
Sure, I wasn't even aware of that, Christelle, just in terms of the non-short-term insurance. So there you have it. Your family could find themselves in a position where they don't get a payout. Yo, Christelle, thank you so much for your time on today's Finance Feature.
More isn't just a word. It is Stand-Up Asset Management's commitment to doing better every day for our clients. It's about investing to create futures and delivering on our promises. It's about never giving up on better, because better starts with more. We invest in more to give investors data-led insights that transform, portfolios built for a changing world, and consistent performance you can trust. Stand-Up Asset Management. Invest in more. Stand-Up Asset Management is an authorized financial services provider.